following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, this is Brother Mike. I'm back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Thank you for tuning into the program today. Our Bible study, Abortion Hilarious. Today on Hardcore. Hey, we call somebody telling radio programs on. It's going to be an unusual program, to say the least. The funny aspects of abortion. This is a killer. I'll make a couple of announcements so you make that call. This is Brother Mike. I am the professional and certified counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. We're in Central Phoenix. We're on 15th Avenue. We're just south of Osborne. On the website, HardcoreChristianity.com, of course, we have all of our ministry services. We have 2 services every week, live. Thursday nights, our healing room, 7 p.m., no appointment necessary. We have had, I don't know how many people, I can't even count them anymore. Folks, it's one person after the other being delivered. We've even had dogs delivered in the service. Believe it or not, it happened a few weeks ago. We had one dog delivered and another dog in the next week's service. That's very unusual. I had not seen that ever happen before. Friday nights, my teaching service for my radio listeners, 7 p.m. at the Deliverance Center. You can watch the Friday night service live on our YouTube teaching channel, youtube.com/House of Healing AZ. Don't forget about Sister Karen. She's on the homepage of the website. She'll list your house for sale for you. Happy to do that. And by the way, thank you so much for a tremendous 2019. And all the referrals that you sent to Sister Karen, they were of a tremendous help. I've been in the ministry now for, years and years and years. Never have taken a salary out of the ministry. Not one dime was ever paid to me in salary. Can you imagine that? Yep. I'm not exactly a TV preacher. Let's put it that way. You can contact Karen. Her website's there on the homepage of the website to list your house for sale. The PayPal button is also on the website. You can send us another donation. By the way, thank you so much for 2019 and all those tremendous year-end donations that came in. It was fantastic. We paid 100% of our bills and put money in our savings account for the building fund for the National Deliverance Center. May God richly bless you. Thank you for all you've done for our ministry and for supporting me on the radio for 18 years. Starting in February. Abortion Hilarity. Today on Hardcore. 2 Peter chapter 3. The Bible says, quote, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. Matthew chapter 24. Jesus warns born-again Christians about missing the rapture and going into the tribulation. Jesus said, quote, then shall many be offended and betray one another. Many shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise and deceive many, because the iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold. Imagine that. 2 Timothy chapter 4, the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. After their own lusts, they will heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. They will turn away their ears from the truth and be turned to fables. Greek word mythos, it means myths. Myths. 2 Timothy chapter 2, shun profane and vain babblings. They will increase to more ungodliness. For their words will eat, as does a canker. Now that's the Greek word gangrena. Gangrena in Greek translates in English to gangrene. Gangrene. That's where we get our medical term. Words can create, in a way, tumors of death in people's bodies. 2 Timothy chapter 3 says, evil men and seducers, they will wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Abortion is a national battle now, and the abortionists are losing. They are losing. They're being beaten. Abortion clinics are closing around the country. States are coming around to sanctuary cities for the unborn. All kinds of stuff is happening. The abortion business really took a hit from some guy in California who snuck in there with a wire and a hidden video a couple of years ago and was recording them talking about selling aborted body parts. Nobody knew they were doing that. It's amazing. They've had other secret videos on Planned Parenthood. They don't really offer any other services except abortion. The purpose of it, of course, is to keep the minority community populations down and to sell the body parts of the infants, the stem cells, and the whole thing. It's all a business. It's nothing really more than a business. They're trying to trivialize abortion and make it seem funny because they're losing the battle, so they're grasping at straws. Here's a stand-up comedian. Her name is Michelle Wolf. She was recently on a special on television. Here's the article about it. It's, quote, Michelle Wolf is no stranger to controversy. The little-known comedian gained her big break last year with a routine at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Fair to say it didn't go down well, at least because much of her subject matter consisted of personally insulting people and making mockery of abortion. You might have remembered this happening a year or so ago. She was ripping Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She basically was saying that she is fat as a slob and she's as ugly as a goat and her face is deformed and everything. So she made fun of Huckabee Sanders, and I don't know if that was probably part of the reason she kind of stepped out of her position. It was a vicious and cruel attack, ripping the woman to shreds. But it says here in the article, a year later, Wolf still deems it appropriate to hit on controversial subjects. In her new Netflix stand-up joke show, the comic boasted about her abortions and that they had gifted her with a sense of power and godlike authority. Quote, you can feel any way you want after an abortion, Wolf said, before imploring members of the crowd to get one and see how they feel afterwards. The comic went on to describe her own emotions after getting a baby termination. Quote, you know how my abortion made me feel? Very powerful, she boasted. I walked out of there feeling like, move over, Morgan Freeman. I'm God. Elsewhere in the special, Wolf advocated for abortion on demand, insisting that options to abort should be as normal as hearing about your gluten allergy. A lot of people think that if you're allowed to get abortions, it should only be for very few specific reasons. He said, well, I think you should be able to get an abortion for any reason you want. Okay. Listen, folks, the Bible couldn't have been any more clearer and couldn't have been more on point, can it? 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13, evil men meaning generic human beings, men and women, and seducers, they will wax worse and worse. They will wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Deceiving and being deceived. Now, here's something interesting about that verse I wanted to share with you. The Greek word for seducers in this verse is not the normal Greek word used for seduction or deception, which is plenis. But it's actually gois. Gois is the Greek word here. And it's the word used to describe the supernatural deception that can be caused by a witch or a wizard, like a spell, like putting somebody in a trance, like putting someone in a demonic, hypnotic state. Gois is the Greek word. And that's exactly what happened to this woman who is saying these hideous things about having abortions. And now our society wants the abortions to include late-term abortions, super late-term abortions, and post-birth abortions. If the child is born, believe it or not, or is starting to come down the canal with the head out or part of the head out, they want the child removed and then, while it's still alive, executed. The doctors go on and describe how that process works. This can only be accomplished through supernatural, demonic seduction. The verse says, goes. It's the deception caused by a spell. That's how powerful these demons are, these familiar spirits, these witchcraft spirits, who deceive these women into getting to abortions, not knowing that after the abortion, the demon of death enters their body. The spirit of murder enters them, and their lives are never the same again. They develop repetitive bad dreams and nightmares. They develop strange illnesses, sicknesses, and terminal illnesses. The deception is incredible, but it's caused by a spell. Because the end of that verse says, they will wax worse and worse, okay? Deceiving, that's the Greek word planao, and being deceived, same Greek word. That's the word, the normal word, to be deluded or deceived or fall for a deception. The deception is that the fetus isn't a human being until it's outside the womb. Anytime before that, it's not a human. Now they're stretching it to super late-term abortions and post-birth abortions. They are being deceived by satanic witchcraft. If you had an abortion and you develop strange symptoms in your body after the event, God can forgive you 100% and heal you 100%. You are eligible, if you're a Christian, for free counseling services. Arizona Deliverance Center, contact me, 602-636-5800. If you had an abortion that is not the unpardonable sin, you can be forgiven, and the demon of death and the spirit of murder can be removed. In Jesus' mighty name.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.